Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today I have 50 Triangular Mandalas by Caliart Markers. This will be my Mandala Mania 2019 image for today. I've been coloring from a lot of Caliart's books. I really like them a lot. She has several different books that are available, and I'll have a link to this book down below, as well as a link to her author page so you can see the other books that she has available. And I'll just do a really quick look at some of the images that are in the book. These are the triangular type mandalas. I like them a lot. They are very unique. She does a wonderful job with her drawings. Okay, and I had a request to do a mandala with my Caliarts, and I'll be using my 100 Caliart set for this video. I am sorry to whoever requested the video. I cannot remember what book you wanted to see it from, so I compromised. This is the Caliart 100 set, though. It comes in a very nice carrying case. My case is a little dirty and from, just laying around. But when you unzip the case, you see all of your beautiful markers exposed. The Caliarts have their numbers on the tops of the markers, so they're easily identifiable. And then they have a barcode on the back, which contains the number code as well as the name. Like this one is R839, which is on both ends of the marker. And then it also has Pansy written here. And you have a fine tip and you have a bullet tip. They are very nice snap airtight markers. I love that. And this is my older set. They have changed a couple of the colors in the newer set. I have that set also, but I'm not using them yet because they're just kind of there for backups for these. What they really changed is I think they took away maybe a green and maybe a blue and added in some skin tones. Maybe they took a brown. I'm not sure. But there was a few changes, and way back in my video log, there is a video where I showed that, I believe it was the skin tone video where I reviewed the skin tone markers. I'll try to go back and check and see if that's the video that has the comparison of what colors were removed from the old set when the new set came out. If that's the correct video, I'll also link the video down in the description below. Okay, so I've got coffee in hand. I've got my markers. Let me just kind of move things around a little bit here so things are easier for me to grab. And I picked this image for today. And I have not even begun to think about what colors I'll use, so I'm having to look at that. I don't know how blending will do on this paper, so I'm almost a little reluctant to try, but I suppose we could. Y314 is yellow, and Y107 is lightning yellow. I guess I can try those. We'll try it here on this little thing. Now, this is the Amazon paper. Amazon paper is a lot harder to blend on because it's thinner, and the thinner the paper is, the less ink it's going to hold. And then it's very absorbent, so it wants to kind of soak in, spread out. So it makes trying to blend a little difficult, but I'll see what I can do. I have had some success with my more expensive brush markers in blending a lot easier on the Amazon type paper without having a lot of the bleed. But it's not too terrible bad. Okay. I don't know how long or how short this video will be. As you guys know, I have a lot going on right now here, so I'll do what I can on camera. Ink dries very quickly on the Amazon paper also, which makes blending a little more difficult. When you blend, basically, when the alcohol ink goes down into the paper, the other ink, you know, as long as you keep it, you know, kind of damp, when you put the next color in, those two kind of fuse together and creates your blend. So it's not the easiest paper to work with. Generally, when I print things, when I want to do some blending, I just use, I don't buy the really expensive paper. I've found that it's really not necessary. What I generally get is the Georgia Pacific 110-pound cardstock. They sell that at my Walmart for $4.88. Or I believe it's $150. So it's a very good price, and that's generally where I get my cardstock that I print on when I want to do any kind of blending and things like that. But I mean, as you can see, you can achieve some blends on the Amazon paper. I know that I don't blend perfectly. I know I probably don't blend correctly, but this is my way. You know, it works for me. Okay. I don't even think I'm going to do a blend on this one. Sorry, I have to turn this. I can't. I know there's a lot of color tubers out there that can contort themselves to make it work on camera. I can't. I have to move my image if I start trying to move my body so you know, it looks better for the camera. It causes my back to hurt really bad. So I have a back injury, and we're really working on that to try to make that better, and I cannot do anything that might make it worse. So have you guys purchased any books from Camellia Angelkova? And if so, which ones have you purchased, and which ones are you enjoying? I'm really glad I discovered this artist. She has some really cute books. She has a unicorn book as well as a mermaid book. And I believe that her books are very fairly priced. I don't believe any are over, most are under $6, honestly. She has some for like $6.99, $7.99, but I don't think there's any more. I don't think there's any that's over $8. But they're really, really nice books. I've been discovering some new books, well, new artists lately, and buying a lot of their work. those, the new Dover Spark books. Well, they're not new, but they're new to me. Been getting several of those. Love them so much. Lisa and I have been talking about maybe doing a Dover Spark color along coming up soon. I think that will be loads of fun. So I've got even more Dover Spark books I need to purchase. That's Lisa from over at Lisa's Coloring Corner. She and I will let you know when we figure that out and get some details. I think we would have some fun with that one. I just recently found Jenny Luan, I believe. She has some really cute little books. Slowly but surely, I will start to get all of her books. Is there any lesser known coloring book artists that you guys know of that you enjoy? If so, please let me know in the comments below, because I would love to check them out and look at some of their books. There's, I have found that there are some wonderful artists out there just waiting, you know, to be discovered. We don't hear about their books every day in our groups or on ColorTube, but they're out there. And I've noticed that there's, I've actually purchased books before on Amazon that I couldn't find a flip through for. No reviews, no pictures from the inside of the book, and I've taken the plunge, and they've turned out to be really cute books. Of course, that's happened also, and I've regretted it, but there's a lot of neat artists out there that we can find. So if you know of any of those, please let me know, because I'm always looking for, something new, something fresh. I've had a couple people who commented on my speed color, and I mean, they weren't complaining, don't get me wrong, but they had said that they really didn't like the speed colors in general, because they like to do other things and just listen. And I just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea, my thoughts on why I did that. So you would know my coloring chats are still going to be around. I enjoy doing real-time color. I enjoy talking to you guys about books and products and my coloring process and what's going on camera. I really do like doing that. The reason I thought initially about the speed colors was because, of course, Gary's recovery time. He's getting back to work now, so soon, so that won't so much be an issue. But when I'm filming, what I realized I could do with like the speed colors, especially like that last one that you just seen, was I can I can pick out what I want to do. I can start a video and do my introduction of the book. And you guys like that? Let me look for another color. I think I'll put potato brown in the middle, maybe. Yeah, that's Y26. Excuse me, Y623. 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 I don't see Y623. There we go. This is Y623 Potato Brown. Like I said, I can pick out what I'm going to use. I can start a video. I can do the introduction on the book, and once the introduction and what I'm going to be coloring with, has been introduced, I stop that video completely and I start a brand new video. And then that is like the speed color portion. That's what I'm going to put music over, because that way I don't have to come back and do voiceovers or anything. I can put music over that and mute the sound. And then when I finish the image, I stop that video, and while I'm actually coloring, I can be talking to Gary, watching TV, starting and stopping, pausing, whatever I need to do. And then on the last video, I can do my closing on the video. And by doing it that way, I merge all three of those videos together then as one video. And that works out really well. Okay, let's see. Next. R304. R304 is Pastel Rose, and then R301 is Blush. We'll try that on this one and this one. But yeah, I can do that, and it enables me to be able to, Gary can be here in the room, he can watch his TV shows, he can relax, he can talk, he can, do whatever he feels for him to be comfortable. I don't ever want my channel to interfere with, his comfortability. He works very hard for us. And the channel is like a hobby for me. And I enjoy it a lot, but I can't let it get to the point that it's affecting him like that. But it just enables me to be able to still do the videos, kind of stay on track with what I want to do with the channel. And I figure you guys can see my process of coloring. You can see the pictures that I'm working on, finished pictures and things, but it doesn't require no background noise, recording time kind of thing. And that was my thought on that. So moving forward, there may be times where I may do some speed colors just to kind of show you guys something, and then you'll see it at the end. Some of you may want to watch that, some of you may not, and I understand. Everything's not for everybody. I don't particularly like watching speed colors either, unless I'm wanting to see a process. If I'm wanting to see how someone, does a certain thing, even with a speed color, I can get a good gist. I can see a lot of the video at one time, and, in a short period of time, instead of watching a 2-hour-long video to see someone, say, blending, for example. I could watch the speed color, just like of this even, and get a gist of where they're laying their colors, and before they go back over and things like that. So that's just kind of been my thought on that, and that's why I did that. With him going back to work, things will be a little different. I'll have much more recording time. And with us having Mandala Mania this month, I really dig mandalas, and generally I color in my big comfy chair. But I also thought that what I could do was just kind of make a few videos where I'm basically just sharing my coloring with you guys, more so than technique or anything like that. And I could do those as more voiceover or speed color type things. That way I would have you know, a good many, and you would get to see a lot of different books this month. So what I'm kind of trying to do, I know I feel like I'm rambling, but what I am kind of trying to do is do one video at least per day. I'm trying to color more mandalas than that in my own time, but to record myself coloring one of those mandalas. And that way I can upload that, and it's more of a video of my participation this month. And then of course I'll have some coloring chats mixed in with those as well as some flip throughs and things like that. But that was the method to my extreme madness. And making a lot of videos, I'm not even gonna lie, guys. I mean, sometimes I'm like, what do I want to talk about now? And I'm a talker. That's why I've kind of started trying to keep my videos a little shorter too. I know a lot of people are like making their videos longer now, and I've tried to figure out a way to make mine shorter, because what I'm figuring out about myself is once I get to about the 30-minute mark, I start to ramble. I start to struggle for things to talk about. I can kind of keep my head straight for that first 30 minutes. And then after that, it starts to be a little bit of a struggle. I would have never thought that I would be for any loss of words ever. But, sometimes if I feel like that, I can do a voiceover or something and still be able to do a video. And then kind of do the voiceover or whatever when I feel a little chatty. And I am not even sure if any kind of blending was even in the request about these markers, but I do know that someone asked to see a mandala with Caliarts. Or maybe it was just a picture with Caliarts. I don't remember. So much has been going on. I'm so sorry. But, you know, if you can achieve decent results on this thinner type paper, you can, you know, then you can achieve beautiful results on more cardstock type paper. It's never about the marker. It's always about the paper for the most part when it comes to blending, at least with alcohol markers. I can't blend with water markers at all. The paper pills and it just becomes a huge mess. I don't understand how people are doing these beautiful blends other than maybe putting the ink onto a palette before they put it onto the paper and then working it in. Of course, I'm sure if you had really, really nice paper, you may be able to do that. I really haven't tried that, but when it comes to alcohol markers, as long as your paper's thick enough, like your cardstock and things like that, you can get your alcohol markers to blend in to each other. Okay. I think that's very pretty. See, we're at 24, almost, we're going on 25 minutes, so I'm already feeling like I'm starting to run out of things to say. Isn't that horrible? thinking. I'm going back in with a yellow here. I was debating if I wanted to use yellow or the lightning yellow for the center of these two flowers. And there'll be links down below to the Caliart markers also. I'll link to the 100 pack because that is what I have and that is what I showed you. But they do have other sizes also that you can choose from. Okay. I have R623 and R702. And I think I'm going to try to do this one. I don't know how well this is going to do. I don't know if these two colors are going to go well, blend well into each other, but we're going to try. I don't even know why I'm doing so much blending. Oh, goodness. All right. Lately, on a lot of my images, I've just kind of felt like trying to blend, and I don't know why, because, you know, I had really gotten into just straight coloring, and I was loving it. See, those two don't like each other very much. Got a little blotchy. Oh well. I was afraid that this might be a little too dark, but also wasn't sure which other ones to use. I feel like this mauve shadow might be a tiny bit dry also. It might be just about time to switch it out for the one in the other set. It definitely gets to a point where you have to say, okay, time to switch. I can't do markers that aren't juicy. They get kind of blotchy. So we have a huge line of storms headed this way. Should be a fun, fun weather day here in Georgia. See, I have to be a lot quieter when I blend. There's thinking involved. Someone, I'm not sure who it was, had suggested that maybe I could like call someone on the phone and practice just coloring, you know, blending and things like that just while I was on the phone to get over some of my issues with, you know, not being able to really talk while doing this kind of thing. The only problem is, I know this sounds crazy, but if I'm on the phone, I can't even color. I can sit here with you guys and do color and chats and straight color all day long. But I cannot, for the life of me, color while I'm on the telephone. I am really thinking that these, like this three things right here, are part of the greenery of the stem. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I don't like the way this flower is turning out at all, but oh well. And I think these colors may have worked together a lot better on better paper. So don't hold it against the marker. Okay. All right, those are cute. Now let me see what I want to do as far as some green. G606 is bud green. Okay. All right. We're going to make a huge pot of chili tonight. Michael is coming over with his wife. Probably, are you guys in frame? Yeah. Probably about 5:30. We told him 5, but I say 5:30 because he is his father's son. The weather is supposed to be getting super cold after these storms go through. The chili would have probably been better maybe tomorrow night, but it'll be okay. It's all good. Okay, G825. G825 is petitescreen. I'm gonna add some of that into a few places. I don't want to have too much of one green. That way maybe things will kind of all stand out instead of all run together with each other. I should have done the green right there. Gary doesn't do beans in his chili. He just likes a lot of meat in his chili. No beans. I like beans in my chili, but I don't believe, unless I got it at a restaurant, I have not had beans in my chili since Gary and I got married. I know. The sacrifices we'll make for those that we love. Of course, being married to Gary, as long as I have been, I appreciate any time that he avoids eating beans. And I'll just leave that right there. Beanless chili is a small price to pay. And speaking of Gary, his blood pressure's been doing really well the past few days, oddly enough. I don't know if it's the new medication actually working or what's going on with that, but the blood pressure's been pretty good. Of course, he really hasn't done much other than kind of just be here at home. When he goes back to work, that will probably, really tell the tale. His blood sugar, that's a whole nother story. It's running in the 200s, and it doesn't seem to want to go back down. So we're going to have to address that. I feel so sorry for him, And he's got this joke that if you can ever not find me, just follow the candy wrappers, because I am constantly, my throat itches so bad that I have hard candy in my purse. I have some in some drawers here in the room where I can get to it pretty easily. So I'm sucking on hard candy a lot, and his joke is always, if you can't find me, follow the candy wrappers. That's not nice, right, guys? G515 is grass green. But I do feel kind of bad because, I should probably be the one with diabetes. As much candy as I suck on during the day, I don't suck on sugar-free candy. It's generally the, I really like the cinnamon a lot, and that's generally what I have close by. If I can't find the cinnamon disc, sometimes I'll get the root beer ones. But I don't like the taste of sugar-free candy. But it probably should be me with the diabetes, and not him. I don't think I've asked this. What are you guys coloring and working on right now? Are you participating in Mandala Madness? If so, what books are you coloring from? If you're not participating in Mandala Madness, what are you coloring? let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for everybody that's joined in over on the Facebook group and shared your work. I absolutely love to be able to see it. I enjoy sharing my pictures with you guys at the end of every month, and of course coloring with you guys throughout the month. But it's super awesome to be able to see your work over there in the Facebook group. Thank you for participating. It means a lot. And if you didn't know that there's a Facebook group, there's a link in the description to the video just below that will guide you over to the group so you can join in over there. We'd love to have you. It's a great group. We're all very supportive of each other. No drama. Okay, that's very pretty. I think I'm going to go back in with Potato Brown just on this right here. My stinking infection's back. I don't think I've really told you guys what it is, but I've got a urinary tract infection that will not go away. It was diagnosed shortly after my hysterectomy that I had to have a couple years back. And every time I go to the doctor, I've got a urinary tract infection, and that's what I was treating. R503 is pastel pink. And that's what I was on medications for before. We did 2 rounds of an antibiotic, and yeah, I kind of had a feeling it wasn't done, and it's not. I'm going to have to go back to the doctor tomorrow. That means I've got 2 doctor's appointments to take care of tomorrow. I don't know. I think this time I'm going to ask for a referral to a urologist and see if maybe a urologist can help me figure out what in the world is going on, because it's getting just, it's very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. I don't like it at all. I have heard of some people who have had issues where they, Y003 is canary yellow, where they were diagnosed with UTIs, and the UTIs just, they were chronic. And that's what I've got going on. It doesn't ever seem to heal. Let me tell you guys, I know this may be TMI, and I'm sorry, but this is just, okay, you know, way back in the day, I understand that there was home remedies for all kinds of stuff. You know, they didn't have medications like they have today. People had to find things that just worked, you know, like ear infections. You put urine in your ear. I've actually heard that really works, but, you know, now, of course, there's much better options. So when I had told my mother-in-law that I felt like this infection was back and I was going to have to figure out something else to do about it. R607. This is going to be bright. I hope it's not too bright. She told me, and I was like, oh, no, 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 no. She told me to topically apply a Listerine, and that it would burn like the dickens for just a minute, and then it would be all good. No, I've not tried that. I'm not going to. That doesn't even sound remotely pleasant. I'm pretty sure somewhere on Listerine it says for external use only. It's got to. I mean, oh goodness. So yeah, I don't know. I'm all about home remedies, but that's a little much. I'm just going back in with the potato brown to do this little outline. I jump around a lot when I color a picture. I don't stick to just, oh, I'm going to do all the flowers, and then I'm going to do this, or then I'm going to do that. Nah. I'll just jump to whatever part of the image excites me at the moment. And that's what I do. So tomorrow will be a long day. I really don't like doctors. I just do not like doctors. And I know that they're necessary sometimes, but it's flu season, and I really don't like doctors in flu season. And it seems like if I'm going to get sick with something that I need to go to the doctor for, it seems to always be when there's some kind of a horrible thing floating around that people are going to doctors for. You know, you can walk out of a doctor's office having contracted something a lot worse than you had when you went in, especially during flu seasons. Boy, Bradley is in a barking mood. He's outside. He's just barking away. The wind's probably picking up, and, you know, I've noticed with him sometimes when the wind's rustling things around, I think his eyesight's going bad. You know, he's 12. Or, well, he will be in the next couple months. And I think his eyesight's starting to go bad. And when the wind's kind of rustling things around, I don't think he knows where those sounds are coming from because of his eyesight. And it kind of puts him on alert, and he barks. I mean, that's kind of the conclusion I've came up with because it doesn't make sense. He never barked in all these ways like this before. Now it's just gotten a lot, you know, it's gotten to this point more recently. So if you guys can hear him barking, that's what's probably going on out there. I really like the way this is turning out. I'm not too thrilled about that purple lavender flower up there, but pretty sure I was getting out of frame with you guys. Okay. Alright, I'm about to take a break. Try to go quiet him down just a little bit. Reassure him that everything's okay. And I'll be back and we'll try to finish this up. All right, that should calm him down at least for a few minutes, maybe. Not really sure what was going on with all that. I worry. This is 6:05, Charisse. I worry about him. You know, he's slowing down. He's getting older. It makes me very sad. I know that it's not going to be many more months or years until he's gone, and the thought of that breaks my heart. I hope that I'll be able to get another dog if something does happen. But that's problematic because I had a pet cat, and you guys hear me say all the time, I'm not a cat person. I used to be. My first pet was as an adult, was a cat, and his name was Socks. And I had Socks his entire life, and when Socks was gone, I tried later to have a cat, and all of a sudden I didn't like cats. And I don't know if it was from my grief of losing Socks, but cats just weren't my thing after that. So I don't know. I love Bradley so much. Okay, I'm going to do this background in B003, and I think I'm going to try to do it before I do a butterfly, maybe. Now, I have had some questions on how to do these backgrounds without leaving lines, and that right there was part of the thing, look. And I colored it green. Oh well, we'll just go with that. But at any rate, I've had a few questions on the backgrounds and them not being streaky, and the key to that is to keep your ink wet. And I've talked about this in a couple videos, but it's always worth repeating because you get new subscribers or people who may have missed a video, and so it's always, worth repeating. And anytime I start getting questions about it, I'll, of course, talk about it in an upcoming video after that again, because that's kind of just a little trigger to me that says that it's time to talk about it again. But the key is to keep your ink wet. If you allow your ink to dry and then you go back up against it again, it's going to leave a line. What I do is I look for breaks in my image where other things in the image are kind of like where I'm doing now, where I'm able to kind of jump around and put the ink in places that I'm going to have strong borders. So I always do that first when I do the background. I look for those little places and I get those. And when it comes to the bigger places, I look for a starting and a stopping point. Where am I going to start and where am I going to stop? That way I can try to work efficiently with it. You have to work quickly, but yet, of course, you have to make sure that you're putting an equal amount of ink down. If you get variations in the amount of ink that you're putting down, you'll end up having lines also, because there won't be your ink won't be laid down smoothly. And when you start going too quickly, it's easy to have not as much ink in some areas than others, and that makes for streaky work also. So you just have to work consistently and quickly, yet not so quickly that it's overwhelming. And if you have bigger areas with twists or turns, you kind of have to just try to go back and forth between your wet ends of ink just to kind of keep it wet. sometimes that method works really well, and then other times, well, you know, sometimes you just end up with lines. It doesn't matter how hard you work. But I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to start going this way, and when I start getting to the end, I'm going to work it up here, but I'm also going to keep working the ink on this side to make sure both sides of these stays equally wet. That's what I'm going to attempt to do. And then I'll move on to this section, and then I'll probably start from here and work my way down to fill in this part, and then they'll all kind of meet together at this line. Well, actually, I could do the inside of this now, but it'll meet like this area and then this area. Yeah, so that's what I'll be doing with that. Let me go ahead and get this section. But you just need to keep the ends where the ink stops. That's where you have to try to keep it wet. When you're working on the thinner papers like this that the ink just soaks into so quickly and dries so quickly, it's a lot harder to do. When you're working more on your cardstock type paper, it's a little easier because the ink stays wet longer. Okay, so I'm going to start here and I'm going to work my way through here. I would try to use my chisel if it weren't for such tight curves in areas, but see how I keep going back to the line? I just don't want that line to dry, because if that line dries, that's where the line will be when I add more ink. So that's the key, is just to keep the ends of this ink wet. And then you see I finished that part so that I can hop back down here and start focusing on this again. Once you get started, you can't stop. You know, if your phone rings or something like that, if you stop and go and, you know, answer that phone or do whatever you're going to do, when you come back, it's too late. You're going to have the lines. So before you start a larger area or whatever, make sure that you've got the time that you're going to need to focus on getting that section of your picture complete. Okay, I'm going to move on to this section here. I'm going to start here, and then I'm just going to whip it over this way, filling in these little areas as I go along. And the more you practice, the easier it gets. It does. So that's a big thing too, is just practice, practice, practice. If you're just really struggling with ink backgrounds, you can also use pastels. You know, like chalk pastels, pebbles chalks, things like that for your backgrounds, so you're not, you know, struggling so much with the ink. It does take a lot of ink to do backgrounds. I'll do smaller backgrounds, but I generally don't do huge marker backgrounds either, because of how much ink it takes. Okay. And then I'll move up, and I'll do from here to here, kind of branching out and filling in. Bradley's gonna scratch on the door and say, I want in. I'm sorry, babes, you can wait till I finish this. I also work in kind of circular motions, even though I may be going back and forth where it looks like I'm in a line. I'm kind of moving my marker in kind of a circular motion also. That seems to get the ink to soak down, so you get more even coverage. And I mean, they can be tiny circles, they don't have to be much. It's just making sure you're getting down into that paper. You're just trying to keep an even coverage. Okay. And there, that should dry without any lines. I think I'm gonna do the butterfly in maybe yellows and oranges, maybe. Y416 is marigold. Or do I want to go real orange? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do 608 orange on this outline right here. And the butterfly. There. Okay. Then I can go back maybe. I think I'll use 315 Mellow Yellow. It's a little lighter than that marigold. Right here. Okay. All right, we're on the home stretch now. Okay, and then I'll use my maybe lightning and canary yellow, maybe, for the little butterfly lines here. There. Come back in with canary yellow. I don't know that I like how bright that orange is. Might try to tone it down just a little by going over it, maybe with that melon yellow. Tone it down a tad. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. I kind of like it like that. Maybe I'll leave it just that way. Okay, let me zoom this out. And there we go. This is my mandala for the day. This is Triangular. Yeah, 50 Triangular Mandalas by Camelia Angelkova. There will be links down below in the description to this book. I will try to remember also to link her artist page from Amazon. I will leave a link to the Caliart Markers on Amazon, so you can find those there. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We would love to have you here. Visit us in the Facebook group. Links are down below. And until next time, guys, peace, love, and happy coloring. Bye, guys.